We got a bit of excitement this Sunday. Bitcoin hit a new all-time high above $119,000. Meanwhile, XRP shot up earlier today, reaching as high as $2.88. So is this the real deal? In short, yep, if you ask the chart analysts I follow. In fact, I'm about to share insights from 9 different XRP chart analysts, including one who boldly says the XRP train has officially left the station. But before we dive in, just a quick heads up, I don't have any kind of financial background. This isn't financial advice, so definitely don't make any buying or selling decisions based on what I say or write. As I'm recording this, it's Sunday, July 13th, 2025, and wow, what a day for the markets. XRP is sitting at $2.82 and Bitcoin has hit an incredible $118,587. But check out these 24-hour highs. XRP actually hit $2.88 earlier, climbing as Bitcoin surged. According to Live Coin Watch, Bitcoin reached a new all-time high today of $119,181. On some exchanges, it even spiked higher. I've heard reports of up to $119,500, though I haven't verified that myself. It feels like we're on the verge of something huge. Analysts I trust are saying the same thing. This rally is the real deal. That doesn't mean there won't be dips along the way, of course. Nothing moves straight up forever. But if you're wondering whether this could be the big move that kicks off the next wave, the answer seems to be a resounding yes. In a recent video, I talked about this, but it's worth mentioning again. Credible Crypto, one of the top chart analysts out there, is feeling pretty confident that this is the real deal. He doesn't think we're heading much lower from here. Sure, he mentioned there's a chance we could dip back down to around $112,000 for a quick retest, but he's not expecting it. And as long as we don't drop below $110,000, he believes Bitcoin is primed to skyrocket, blasting past $150,000. How exciting is that? Even if you're more into altcoins or like me, you're not super hyped about Bitcoin, but still hold some, this is big news. Bitcoin's moves can set the stage for the whole market. So there's plenty to be excited about. Even if you're like me and not super invested in it, you should still stay excited and keep an eye on what's happening. Why? Because this gives us a glimpse of what's coming next. That's always been the case. This will show us what's ahead for XRP and the rest of the altcoins. Let's be honest, that's where the life-changing gains are coming from these days. Bitcoin, not so much anymore. So yeah, it's definitely worth paying attention to. Chart analyst Tech Dev just shared an exciting update with his 534,000 followers on X. He believes we finally hit the moment that signals true altcoin expansion. Yes, the start of a real alt season. If he's right, we could be seeing the kind of altcoin growth that only comes around once every few years. Pretty exciting stuff, right? Tech Dev seems confident. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Check out this post from chart analyst Mustache. It's about the crypto total market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, also known as Total 3. Mustache points out that the weekly MACD for Total 3 has finally made a bullish cross. If you're not feeling bullish on altcoins yet, maybe it's time to reconsider. The MACD is a momentum indicator, and once it flips bullish, like it just did, it often signals a stronger move in that direction. This is just one more sign that things are lining up perfectly for the market. Seriously, think about all the metrics we've been talking about recently. Everything seems to be coming together. And yes, XRP is part of this too, in case you were wondering. Here's an exciting update from chart analyst Crypto Wizard. Check out this Bitcoin price chart. He says we've officially got liftoff. After a massive weekly candle, Bitcoin has broken out of its inverse head and shoulders pattern, and the rally to $131,000 and beyond is on. I tried to warn the bears, but it seems they're sticking to their guns. It's always a valiant effort from the bears, but let's face it, the crowd often gets it wrong. So here's the thing. There's a point where everything starts to align and it actually makes sense. Things go up, and those who stayed optimistic while others were bearish end up being right. Then, of course, the masses jump in. But for people like us who've been paying attention and know how these things typically play out, we can see when it's time to take a bearish stance. Meanwhile, the latecomers are still catching up, struggling to accept the shift. And once again, they're caught off guard because we've already recognized when it's smart to pivot and be bearish. What do you mean? Prices are definitely surging, but you can spot the signs when a market cycle is wrapping up. then people get caught off guard all over again. It's just how it goes. Sure, individuals can learn and adapt over time, but when it comes to the masses, nope, they're not changing. It's the same story over and over again. Check out this exciting post from chart analyst Dark Defender. A massive run for XRP could be just around the corner. It's the moment many of us have been dreaming about for years. For those who've been here since the early days, like when XRP hit 11 cents, you know how far we've come. And for the newer folks who missed those times, don't worry, you're part of this journey now as we aim for those all-time highs together. I've been in the XRP community since late 2017, and let me tell you, seeing it hit 11 cents was a wild moment. On some exchanges, it even dipped to 10 cents, but we've stuck together through the lows, and now we're gearing up for what could be one of the most exciting chapters yet. Remember back in March 2020 when XRP dropped all the way down to 10 cents on Coinbase during the pandemic? What a wild ride it's been since then. From 10 cents to the all-time high earlier this year, we've seen a 34x increase. That's just insane. It's been such an incredible journey to be on together, hasn't it? And honestly, the craziest part might still be ahead. Just wait until XRP enters price discovery. It's going to be next level. This is the moment we've all been waiting and dreaming about for years. I truly believe we're on the brink of something huge. If it doesn't pan out, sure, I'll be disappointed and a very sad panda, but I don't think that's going to happen. There's just too much lining up in XRP's favor right now. It feels like we're right on the edge of something massive. Chart analyst Captain Favix certainly thinks so, and here's why. Take a look at this XRP price chart. He points out that the XRP train has already left the station, climbing over 20% since its breakout. In the short term, he's eyeing a target of around 480 for XRP. If you set aside what happened back in November, this looks like the real leaving the station moment, maybe even the start of a second pump. Whatever you want to call it, the breakout has happened. After consolidating for about 6 months, the chart is finally showing some real action. If you take a quick glance at the chart, it's clear as day. XRP is on the move, and this breakout seems like the real deal. Here's the latest update from chart analyst Crypto Tony. He's been holding XRP since $2, and now it's cleared $2.50. According to him, the train is about to leave, which likely means he's expecting some price discovery soon. Just to clarify, when he mentioned $2.50, he was talking about a key level XRP needed to break through. By the time he posted this update earlier this morning, XRP was already sitting at $2.80. Here's a post from Crypto Tony from just a few days ago that caught my eye. He mentioned ranging for 6 months now, got to see some big moves soon, right? That was on July 8th. And the answer is yes. The breakout has already started, and the most exciting part is that things are heating up fast. Oh, and check this out. A thread by chart analyst Donald, who's pretty famous in the crypto world with 674,000 followers. Now, to be fair, he's not exactly a fan of XRP. Let's just say he's got a serious case of XRP derangement syndrome. But hey, credit where credit's due. His insights are always worth a look. He's been super intellectually honest when charting XRP, and honestly, that's refreshing. Not everyone who criticizes XRP is willing to be upfront about where they actually think it's headed, but he definitely stands out in that way. Ever since November when XRP broke out, he's been pretty spot on with his predictions, which is impressive. I wanted to share a few quick posts that he's made for Amount. They're short, so I'll just go through them all. The first one is from July 9th, where he talked about XRP and asked, is this finally going to be the breakout, or do we need to wait another month or two? That's been the big question these past few weeks. Are we on the verge of a major breakout, or will we have to hold tight for a little longer? Let's dive in and take a closer look. There's been plenty of chatter from analysts lately about why this applies to both XRP and Bitcoin. On July 10th, one analyst shared XRP update, best looking breakout attempt of the range yet. Then the following day, July 11th, they posted again saying, if it doesn't break out this time, I'll lose my mind. It looks so clean. Later that same day, they added XRP update at range high, maybe a brief pause, and then it's go time. This ranging has gone on long enough, folks. And honestly, that makes sense. History may not repeat exactly, but it often rhymes. In past cycles, XRP saw one major pump, then moved sideways for about 6 months to consolidate before taking off with a second big pump. Could we be seeing something similar this time around? If history really does have a way of repeating itself, it seems like we're in for quite a ride, and the fireworks are already starting. It looks like things have truly taken off, and he definitely seems to agree. Here's another update from him on July 11th. He shared his thoughts about XRP, saying, "Not even a brief pause. Non-XRP holders are in utter disbelief. Send it to $6.90. Now, keep in mind, this is coming from someone who isn't exactly a fan of XRP. In fact, he's definitely not shy about his dislike for it. But even he thinks $6.90 is the next short-term target, and he doesn't believe that'll be the peak. That's just the next stop on the way up." So back on July 11th, he was talking about 690. Fast forward to this morning, July 13th, and here's the latest XRP update. You can see the chart on your screen. He's saying, "Good enough. I'll assume this is a valid breakout until proven otherwise." Basically, he's expecting new all-time highs anytime now. Of course, nothing is ever 100% certain, but when it comes to charts, analysts usually go with what they think is most likely. And that's exactly what he's saying here. He believes it's way more likely that this breakout is legitimate than a fake out. Could it still turn out to be a fake out? Sure, that's always a possibility. But right now, the odds look pretty good. From what analysts are saying, it doesn't seem likely at all. The way they're talking, it's like, nope, the train has already left the station. What do I mean? Basically, it's already happening. And one particular analyst seems to completely agree. He's in the camp that this is a valid breakout unless proven otherwise. In his view, the train's gone and there's not much time left for XRP to stay under $3. In fact, analyst Bark shared this with his 221,000 followers, saying this could be the last time we see XRP under $3. Crazy, right? And honestly, he might be onto something. Could it be true? Maybe. I can't say for sure, but I do believe XRP has the potential to skyrocket. I don't make specific price predictions, but the idea of it hitting double-digit prices, totally within the realm of possibility. Whether that's $10, $20, or even $30, I'm not necessarily expecting it to go that high, but hey, if XRP were to hit those levels, even with an 80% pullback, it could still settle around $6. Who knows? There's always a chance it drops below $3 briefly before climbing back up again. It's tough to predict how things will play out. A lot depends on how big the drop is when the bubble eventually bursts. What we're really hoping for is for the XRP bubble to fully inflate. That's when you see the euphoria kick in. Those moments bring big, unsustainable prices, but that's just how it works. The same goes for Bitcoin, ETH, and XRP. When you're looking at that moment as prices start dropping down the list, that's often when the best opportunities for life-changing wealth come around. Of course, the bubble eventually pops, prices drop again, but they usually settle at a higher low compared to the last cycle. Will XRP drop below $3 again? Maybe not. It could happen, I'll admit that, but it really depends on how high XRP climbs. If it hits $10, for example, an 80% pullback wouldn't be all that surprising. Yeah, so it's likely XRP could dip below $3 at some point, even if it's just briefly. That wouldn't be unusual at all. Look at the last cycle. XRP didn't hit a new all-time high, but it still shot up to $2 before crashing all the way down to 28 cents by June 2022. That's a massive drop. So it's totally possible we could see something similar again. Maybe not an 80% drop, but definitely something significant. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. It's bound to be dramatic. The more excitement and craziness there is, the higher the chance of a bigger percentage drop. But honestly, if that happens, I'll see it as a huge opportunity during the bear market. I'll scoop up a ton of XRP, like a ridiculous amount. Once it's on sale, I'll be ready to buy with the new money I'm earning. Here's a post from Bark. He's saying XRP could go 10x to 20x from here. Big claim, right? You've been warned. Personally, I don't see it hitting that upper range. We're almost at $3 now, so a 20x would mean around $55. That feels like a stretch to me. But hey, I'm happy to be proven wrong. If I'm off, no ego here. I'll just admit my gut was wrong and cheer you all on as you're cashing out up there. For this cycle, though, I don't think there's much of a chance. Down the road, without any time frame, sure, I could see that happening. But for now, let's keep it realistic, ? Sure, even something like 10x or more could be possible because we'd still be talking about under 30. Now, I'm not saying we'll definitely get that high, but there are plenty of people out there who firmly believe we will. So honestly, it's not as crazy as it might sound. We'll see where it goes. For me, it's not just about what I think. I really enjoy sharing different perspectives. Even if I'm not 100% convinced about something, I think it's important to put those ideas out there so you can form your own opinion and decide what feels most likely. Personally, I tend to land somewhere in the middle. You've got some people talking about XRP hitting $8 to $10 as a peak, while others are throwing out much bigger numbers like 40, 50, or even 60. The truth is probably somewhere in between. Maybe it's 15, 20, or $25. At the end of the day, we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out. Check out this post from a chart analyst who's big on crypto. They're predicting that XRP could test its all-time highs next week, $3.40. There might be some pullback at that level, but once it breaks through, it's game on for XRP. We could be looking at a once-in-a-decade rally, the kind investors have been waiting for since 2018. Have you noticed how many analysts are saying similar things lately? And for good reason. It's not like they're all following the same script. They're independently arriving at the same conclusion. When this kind of thing happens, the predictions from these reputable chart analysts tend to be pretty spot on. It's what's most likely, and honestly, it makes sense. The last time we saw something really wild with XRP's price was back in 2017, heading into 2018. That was a long time ago, almost a decade. So yeah, this really does feel like a once-in-a-decade kind of event, especially since we missed out on the last market cycle. I genuinely believe that. Here's an interesting post from a chart analyst. CW is saying that if XRP breaks $3.40, we could see a major bullish rally. The real bull market might kick off after that. I've been seeing a lot of similar takes lately, and the conviction from all these analysts is hard to ignore. It keeps popping up again and again. Here's an update from chart analyst Zoom this morning. XRP has been holding steady on the battlefield for 2 days now. If it breaks through this zone, we could see new all-time highs pretty quickly. I'm noticing the same sentiment from other analysts too. I just wanted to share this with you because I've been following chart analysts daily for years, and it's rare to see so many of them aligned like this at the same time. It doesn't happen often, except when something big is on the horizon, like what we saw back in November. Remember back in November when I pointed out how all the analysts were saying, hey, something big is coming. And they were right. It really did happen. Well, that's exactly where we are right now. We're in that same kind of moment, and that's why it's worth paying attention. Of course, nothing is ever guaranteed. Sometimes the unexpected happens, and I get that. But honestly, I really don't see this being one of those times. I really doubt it. Here's a quick update from the awesome Matsby for all the XRP enthusiasts out there. If you're waiting for XRP to skyrocket, the key level to watch is 295. It needs to flip to support. It's not there yet, but Matt shared this update earlier today and remains super optimistic. While he doesn't think today is the day, he's made it clear in several posts that he believes XRP is heading for double-digit prices. It's just a matter of time. Patience is key, but according to some, the XRP train has already left the station. Just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor, so please don't make any financial decisions based solely on what I say. Always do your own research.